Having the car drive up to you, you get one idea from how it looks on the outside. And then once you get inside, you realize it's actually nicely put together.
Hello.
Hello, Paulo.
Good morning.
Good morning. Okay.
Okay.
This car's way more interesting inside than it is on the outside.
So this car is the Chery Tiggo 8 Luxury EX. It is the top variant of the Tiggo 8. The Tiggo 8 is the largest SUV offering by Chery. They have a number starting with the Tiggo 2. This one comes at the price of 1,340,000 pesos.
Okay.
So when you think about the car, it's a mid-size crossover SUV. It comes in rivaling the likes of the Forester RAV4 CRV in terms of size.
In terms of size.
The size, the features inside.
Okay, because not in terms of smoothness.
Yeah. Yeah. That I think you can safely say.
Yeah. So in terms of size, this goes against those cars which we all actually know and love. But you are getting a less expensive vehicle.
By a lot.
And you need to be aware of what you're giving up. Because right now, we could already feel it. Because, I mean, we were already a little bit jerky, and that was what you were explaining. The transmission is working very hard to take its 150 plus horsepower and 142, okay, and power all this way, because it is a 6-speed dual clutch transmission, and it's got to work and control the 1.5 liter turbocharged inline 4, and that takes work. And it would be smoother if it was a 7, it would be smoother if it was acting differently, but it's not. But that's what you get.
Because I was comparing it to the Okavango, because we had the Okavango recently. We did a video on it, put it up there. It has a 7-speed dual clutch.
The Okavango.
The Okavango. Okay. So it's almost the same, just with one extra gear, and it felt a lot smoother than what the Tiggo has.
Well, it's not just the number of gears, but it's the way you integrate those gears. Okay, hit the gas now. It feels like a SUV. What is happening is the car is responding to your request. It cannot respond with gobs of power smoothly because it's got a smaller engine. So it's responding by matching the proper transmission gear with the proper engine output to produce what it is you want, in which case you wanted acceleration. I had no issues with this car at anything above crawling speed, but I do find it can feel a little bit laggy.
But you know, once it has a bit of momentum, it's okay. It's just when you start from a full stop, that's where you can kind of feel it.
I could feel it was not as elegant as it could have been, but it's just not as high up the developmental ladder as something from like our favorite DCT manufacturer, which is Porsche and Audi, as an example.
I mean, the interior is elegant for the price.
Agreed. I think my favorite part of this car is the interior.
It is.
And the space. Having the car drive up to you, you get one idea from how it looks on the outside. And then once you get inside, you realize it's actually nicely put together. It looks very nice and clean. It's not overly flashy, brand new Chinese type thing. I'm surprised at how clean it actually is. So my favorite part of this car is the interior.
Yeah, the interior is very pleasant. It has ambient lighting on the dashboard and the side of the doors, which was very nice to have at night. It's made with a lot of faux leather that Jaguar Land Rover uses in their cars. So the faux leather seats, the soft touch material on the dashboard, it's similar. And speaking of Jaguar Land Rover, the climate control system, it's very similar to some Land Rovers we've driven. It's a dual climate control system. It has a 10.25-inch touchscreen display. It has Apple CarPlay, which if you connect it to your iPhone, it connects right away.
Wired,
yes. But it doesn't have Android Auto. It has mirror link only for Android.
How do you know it had?
I checked it.
Okay, you don't use Apple, you use Android.
I was with someone who has
Who were you with, Paulo?
I was with my girlfriend.
It doesn't have knobs for the audio system.
It has buttons.
It has buttons. Okay, you know, here's one thing I like. This thing kind of goes all the way around. And it's not a design note I would have expected from a car like this.
Yep.
So I'm telling you, the inside of this car is completely different from the outside of this car.
Yep. The outside isn't bad. It doesn't look ordinary, but it's not really as eye-catching as we would like.
No, it's not.
Nothing really stands out.
Yeah, I mean, it's good. It's just not stellar, which is what we've come to expect lately.
It has LED lights for the headlights and the DRLs. It has fog lamps. The rear especially I like because the taillights go all the way. They connect the two lights. So that's a nice touch. It makes the car look more premium. It also has 18-inch alloys that are not black, but I think they're more of gunmetal.
Okay.
It works really well.
Right.
I like it. This car has a wide array of features. I'd say it's complete. It has 2 modes, Sport and Eco, so there's no comfort or there's no normal. But so if you want to drive normally, you go in Eco.
What did you end up spending most of your time in, Eco or Sport?
Eco. I barely use Sport.
Really?
Because
that's completely the opposite of me.
It has 6 airbags, stability control, ABS. It has an electronic parking brake with auto hold. It has hill descent control. Also, a nice touch of the car, it has a smartwatch or like a Fitbit kind of watch. It's called the Chery watch. It does the usual stuff you'd see like in a Fitbit. It can count your steps, measure your heart rate, tell the time, but you can also control the car with it.
Control in some ways. You're not driving it.
Yeah. Yeah. So you can put the windows down with the watch, open the trunk, which is an automatic tailgate, by the way. You can unlock and lock the car, but you can also start the car. So if you're approaching your car, you're like around 1 meter away, you hold the start option on the watch and it'll start. It won't work if one of the doors is open. So the doors, have to be closed. Yes. So it's very versatile and easy to use, easy to understand.
So basically it acts like your key fob. And the stuff you can do here, you can do on your watch, basically. Here's a question. Will the car run without the key nearby?
I think you need to have the key in your pocket.
I think so, because that's otherwise that's a safety nightmare.
Yes. It has a 360 panoramic view of the car. So when you go in reverse, it automatically shows that.
Okay.
And then you can choose around the car. This is the right side, the left side, forward. So when I'm parallel parking, of course you're gonna go in reverse first. It goes at the back. And I noticed that when I do drive, like that one, it automatically switches to the front, which really helps because if you're parking in a tight parallel parking
I just
space,
wish it stayed longer. That's the thing.
Yeah.
I wish it stayed longer there.
Yeah.
It's not doing there. Okay.
There.
But it is actually fairly responsive.
I mean, I wish it had better resolution because we've had a lot of cars with bigger displays of the camera and better resolution, but it's usable. It's not too distorted.
Yeah, I actually like having that as opposed to just that. Adding the camera view from the front in that situation is quite valuable.
So, I mean, we have a lot of comments about the transmission and they're very dominant, I would say, because, I mean, you can have all these goodies, all these features in the car, but at the end of the day, it's all about the drive of the car.
Well, you know, the thing also is that a lot of this stuff that we pick at is stuff you'll get used to because we're jumping in and out of cars.
Exactly. That's what I thought also.
Because the reverses, you would have either an engine easily 75% larger than this, spewing diesel smoke, and being very noisy. Now, could it be smoother? Yes. How much would it cost you to be smoother? $500,000 or so if you move up, right? So instead you get a pretty environmentally friendly, economic by comparison 1.5 liter engine with a turbo, but without the slow response of a normal transmission. It is actually a wonder of technology. It's just a question of getting there.
Because for us, the transmission to drive is really important, but I think that the features that it has maybe might make up for a regular consumer because a lot of people get impressed by the driver assistance technologies.
That's true. And it does have the safety features that we wanted.
Yeah, 6 airbags.
It does have them. So actually, okay, the only issue I would see with this car in terms of people taking it up would be, as it is with any of these new brands, what is the longevity? What's the maintenance going to be like? And in all honesty, we cannot answer that. But
maybe in 5 years' time.
Maybe. But other than that, understand what you're getting here. This would be an inexpensive buy for a large vehicle with a nice interior, with all the right stuff. Nicely appointed. It does not feel cheap. It's not leather. Okay, so that is actually more utilitarian. You're not going to worry about scratching it or cutting it or staining it.
Yes.
So you're not getting a cheap car. You're getting what should be a solidly made, and it is solidly made car aimed at a particular price point. As Chris said, there's no bad cars. There's only cars inappropriately priced. So given that, maybe this is a very appropriately priced.
And it's a very good point by Chris.
Yeah. We should keep him around more.
Yeah.
Paulo, who do you think this car is for?
And this car is for someone who's daring because, you know, something I would say with a lot of new brands, especially for the Chinese brands that have arrived the last 3 years. I mean, no one expected them to be doing this well.
That's true.
So it's just a matter of time for us to know how will they hold up, just like how Hyundai's were back in the 90s.
Correct.
Right?
Correct.
And I would think some of these brands are in that kind of path. I mean, this is for someone who values having complete features when it comes to convenience and safety, because it does have everything from cruise control to all the convenience options like 6 speakers, Apple CarPlay. It does have that.
Okay.
Someone who would like to take a flyer, the road less traveled.
Okay.
Because I think in terms of what the car offers, it can compete with the other mid-size crossovers and SUVs.
Okay, so it's going up against those basic SUVs, but it's offering
hundreds of thousands cheaper.
Yes.
And at 1.340 million pesos, you get a lot of car for that price.
That's true.